The Steelers hold on against the Ravens. DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers back from the dead, finally throwing the ball down the field after weeks of failing to do that. We got to hear from both of them after the game on the Downfield Connection.
I think just us connecting at practice on Wednesday, Thursday, and even on Friday, the defensive scout team gave us great looks. We were competing all week at practice. And then, like I said, man, we're on all the details, all the checks, all the looks at practice. We were communicating all week. So, I think it was just a perfect storm, for everything to just come together and for us to play a good game like that.
You guys were talking about we hadn't completed a pass, over 20 yards in a while. It took a shot. DK got it, and then he was kind of on one. But he was on one in practice on Thursday. And then he was on one on practice on Friday. So love that from our guy. I think he even ran down on a punt. So proud of DK.
I really don't like listening to Aaron Rodgers speak.
That was the positive sound.
Something gnawing about it. Yeah, we didn't run the sound, producer Stephen's call, of DK Metcalf hilariously commentating on Aaron Rodgers running in his first touchdown since 2022, where DK said that he thought it was a busted play, not realizing that Aaron Rodgers could still move like this. But look, credit to Aaron Rodgers. He played really well yesterday. And this could be the strangest division-winning season in NFL history, but the Steelers now minus money and solid favourites to win the vaunted AFC North. But look, DK Matthew has been very frustrating all season. He's had moments like the epic touchdown catch and run against the Vikings in, was it in London? Might have been in Dublin. But 12 targets, I thought, was the main thing. It's not so much. It wasn't that he just caught a bomb touchdown. He actually got 12 targets yesterday.
Yeah, you know what? I wonder. I know you guys are going to think this is an insane ego thing. And I swear to God, this is not an insane ego thing. I promise you. Because there's plenty of stuff that is insane ego things with me. This one actually isn't.
Where are you going?
But last week, you'll hear me. Give me a second. Last week on the Football Night in America show and Football Night in America podcast, we do this podcast that's, distributed social media. I went on a rant about the Steelers. And no, I'm dead serious. Hear me out. I went on a rant about this on the Steelers, and it got picked up a few places, whatever. And in the middle of it, I just talked about the fact that I didn't think their offense was particularly good. And that I didn't think they had any scary players, any players that scared you on offense. To which Jason Garrett was surprised when he said that. And he goes, DK Metcalf doesn't scare you? And before I could answer anything, Mike Florio says, not the way they use him. And I said, yeah, not the way they use him. I said, maybe if Mason Rudolph was the quarterback, because he's not scared to throw deep. But they don't throw deep to DK Metcalf anymore. Well, what do you know? So I know just Aaron Rodgers, who's the most hyper-aware quarterback in the NFL in terms of what's said about him and the team. I'm not taking credit for this. I'm merely saying that.
Nor should you.
Not an ego thing. I just wonder if somehow that got back to, or if he saw something like that, where people were asking about.
I'm also saying it wasn't not.
Yeah, I just got clarity from DK Metcalf. He said it never got back to him.
Okay, fair enough. That's fine. But all I know is, for the first time this season, for the first time in the season, he got 3 end zone targets. That's the most he's had in a season this entire year. Most he's had in the game this entire year. He had 5 different targets of 15 or more air yards. Also the most he's had in a season. For the first time all year, they looked for him in the end zone and they threw deep to him. They haven't done those things all year long, and what do you know? They end up winning. It's what they should have been doing the whole time. Aaron Rodgers is not throwing deep. It's for the first time he threw deep. I don't know why he did. I don't know what he saw, but
I'll tell you why. He was 5 of 7 against cover 1, averaging like 17 yards per attempt. The Ravens just kept playing a single high safety, and he's like, okay, nobody there over the top. Let me throw it. I think there was a bad decision by the Ravens, but they challenged him. Didn't think he would throw down the field because he never does. And he finally made someone pay, but I have no belief this is sustainable going forward.
Yeah,
I agree.
At Footballer 77, nor should you, in inverted commas. Jay should win an Emmy for that statement alone. Thank you, Footballer 77. I agree. I've been pushing for this Emmy ever since Connor loses it every year.
Good luck going up against Todd Zeal.
Todd Zeal, yeah.
Nobody can beat him.
Go up against me instead. Yeah, firstly, great clarification from Matthew that he does a podcast that is distributed on social media as opposed to non-distributed on social media podcasts. us.
Got picked up a couple places. That was actually the sneaky best line of the rant. It got picked up a couple places.
An insane tangent across the board.
Like it was a mom and pop shop podcast.
Very strange commentary. Anyway, well done to Aaron Rodgers. Jalen Warren's usage was a bit strange in this one. He's just not getting the touches that you would expect from a player who's tracking as he was more close to midseason. Kenneth Gainwell.
They love Kenneth Gainwell.
They love Kenneth. Everyone loves Kenneth Gainwell.
We said this over the summer.
Yeah, Kenneth Gainwell is
We've talked this for forever.
Yeah, he's like the Matthews Penthouse version of Samaje Perine, right? He's like a rich man Samaje Perine, right? It's like, why do coaches love him so much? Why does he get so much usage? But he's a little bit better than Samaje Perine.
Yeah.
I will say, on Baltimore's side of things, I understand it wasn't an amazing day for Lamar Jackson, Matthew, but he looked a little bit more like Lamar Jackson than he had the previous 3 weeks. So maybe there's some hope that he is trending in the right direction as we head into the fantasy playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, that was the positive, right? The 7 for 43 rushing yards. He also gets a rushing touchdown, which was his first one since, God knows when, right? The 43 rushing yards were the most since, I believe, week 4 as well. So just it was nice to see Lamar. He looked like 85% Lamar as opposed to 60. I mean, he's still not fully back, it feels like. That sack at the end was just brutal, right? I mean, like you can't take that sack. For fifth straight game this year, where he completed under 60% of his passes. So I just, look, you're still starting Lamar, right? But you feel a lot better next week about, again, they play Cincinnati next week. So you feel much better about Lamar moving forward into the fantasy playoffs after seeing this performance. He's QB 8 heading into Monday Night Football. Normally you'd want him to be like a top 3 QB, but against the Steelers, given all the recent struggles, you'll take this performance. This was pretty good. And the biggest thing is he finally got Zay Flowers going, right? I mean, 8 for 124 on 11 targets for Zay Flowers as well. 33% target share. Zay had it going.
Yeah. I've never seen a receiver whose first instinct more often is to go backwards than Zay Flowers. It's just
programmed in his brain.
Just run forward when you catch the bullseye.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.
Steelers Nation, listen up, because this is one of those moments when reality hits louder than rumors. For weeks, we've heard it all, that Mike Tomlin was on the hot seat, that his time in Pittsburgh might be running out, that maybe, just maybe, the Steelers needed a new voice in the locker room. Well, let me tell you something. That narrative just got flattened by one thing we've always known about Mike Tomlin. He wins when it matters most. After a powerful 27-22 victory over the Baltimore Ravens, the Steelers didn't just take back the top spot in the AFC North, they reignited belief, not just in this team, but in the man who's been leading it for over a decade and a half. And right on the heels of all that noise about his future, the truth finally came out. A leaked report said Tomlin's contract has a team option for 2027. But guess what? According to longtime Steelers insider Jerry Dulac, that leak didn't come from the Steelers. It came from Tomlin's own camp through his agent. And why? Because the Steelers, like they've always done, don't leak information mid-season. That's not how they operate. That's not how the Rooney family does business. And that silence, that discipline, is exactly why this franchise is different. Jerry Dulac laid it out clearly. Tomlin isn't going anywhere unless he chooses to walk away. Period. No matter what fans shout on Twitter, no matter what analysts debate on TV, the people inside that building know who they are, and they know who Mike Tomlin is. And frankly, if you've watched how this team continues to battle, no matter who's under center, no matter how many injuries, no matter how many doubts, you know it too. Because this man, in one of the most chaotic NFL seasons we've seen in recent memory, has the Pittsburgh Steelers sitting at 7-6 and in first place in the division. Let me repeat that. First place in the AFC North, while teams like the Bengals and Ravens stumble and the Browns scramble for answers. And it's not just about one game, it's about consistency. It's about the culture. It's about how every single player in that locker room plays for him. Not because they have to, but because they want to. And now, with Miami coming into town for Monday Night Football, the Steelers are favored. Think about that. Favored against a Miami team that's fighting for playoff survival? Favored because this team, as flawed as some want to paint it, has found its identity again. Tough, resilient, and led by a coach who refuses to let them quit. All that media noise, all the fire Tomlin talk, all the calls for a change, the truth is Pittsburgh doesn't run like that. This is not a panic franchise. This is not a reactionary front office. This is the most stable organization in professional football, and Mike Tomlin is a pillar of that legacy. Every time they count him out, he pushes back. Every time they say he's lost the team, the locker room rallies around him. Every time they claim he can't win anymore, he just finds a way to do it again. And if the last game was any indication, this season is far from over. So now I turn to you, Steelers Nation. Do you believe again? Do you trust the process? Do you trust Mike Tomlin? Because while the media is still catching up, while outsiders question, this fan base knows better. We've seen what this man has done and what he's still capable of doing. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think the Steelers made the right choice keeping the contract details quiet? Are you confident in this playoff push? Drop your thoughts. Hit that like button if you got Mike Tomlin's back, and subscribe to Steelers Nation Wire, because this ride isn't over. Not even close. We're just getting started.